So what does it mean to be part of this movement for accountability? It means taking on a specific and vital role. In this program, your official title is a volunteer court observer. A court observer is a member of the public who attends court proceedings for the specific purpose of gathering objective data on how our justice system is functioning. Before we go any further, it is critical that you understand one fundamental point. You have an absolute right to be in that courtroom. This isn't a special privilege we are giving you. It is a right guaranteed to every person in this country by the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to a public trial. And that right doesn't just belong to the defendant. It belongs to the public. It belongs to you. It means that with very few exceptions for highly sensitive cases, courtrooms are required to be open. Justice is not meant to happen behind closed doors. It is meant to be seen. Your presence in that public space is a foundational act of civic oversight, the same right that allows a journalist to report on a trial or a student to learn about the legal process. While an official court reporter creates a transcript, their record only captures the words that are spoken. Your purpose is to document what a transcript can't easily show: the context, the process, and the failures in communication. You will document whether an interpreter was even present. You will document if the interpreter was certified or otherwise qualified. You will document if the defendant was pressured to continue in English, despite having limited English. You are documenting the quality of justice itself. And that leads to the most important question. How does your observation actually hold anyone accountable? Your reports do not go into a file cabinet. They go directly to the Language Justice Task Force. This task force reviews every piece of observer data to evaluate trends, determine when and where language access laws are being violated, and decide what action to take. To see how your work leads directly to meaningful change, all observers are invited to join these task force meetings. This is our promise to you. If you observe and document the injustices we train you to see, this task force will take action. Your work is the first essential step in a direct line to enforcement. You are the accountability. Now that you understand your role as a court observer, and the power that role holds, we need to define exactly what you will be looking for. Your mission is to document language barriers. But what does that term actually mean in a court of law? The legal right to language access primarily protects two groups of people: individuals with limited English proficiency and individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. Let's start with limited English proficiency, or LEP. This is a formal term for an individual who does not speak English as their primary language, and who has a limited ability to read, speak, write, or understand English. The most critical thing to understand is that proficiency is not a simple yes or no question. Someone might have enough English to order food at a restaurant or have a polite conversation with their neighbor, but be completely and utterly lost in a courtroom. Think of it this way. There is a vast difference between understanding a simple children's book and understanding a mortgage contract. The language of the court is the mortgage contract. It is a world of specialized high-stakes vocabulary. Words like arraignment, stipulation, adjudication, or subpoena. True language access is not about whether someone can get by. It is about whether they can fully comprehend these complex terms and participate meaningfully and fairly in a process that could change the rest of their life. Oftentimes, people who speak enough English to get by will be pressured to continue without an interpreter, even though they may not truly be fluent enough to understand the nuances of their case. This is something that you, as a court observer, will document. Now let's talk about access for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. A lot of people think sign language is just one thing, or that it's just English but with gestures. That's not true. In the United States, the most common sign language is called American Sign Language, or ASL. It's a full, complete language. It has its own grammar, its own rules. It is not a visual version of English. And for a person whose primary language is ASL, they have a right to a qualified ASL interpreter. But even that can get very complex. Just like spoken English has different accents or slang, ASL has regional variations. And beyond that, there are other sign languages entirely, not just ASL, so just grabbing an interpreter isn't enough. The court has to find the right one. But, and this is just as important, many deaf or hard of hearing people do not use ASL at all. Think about someone who lost their hearing later in life. Their main language is still English. For them, an ASL interpreter is not going to provide meaningful access. They might need something different, like CART, which is live word-for-word captioning on a screen, or an assistive listening device that just makes the sound in the room louder. Here's what this means for you. Your job is not to be an expert on this, as you can tell. It's incredibly complex. Your job is to document what you see. Did the court just assume what the defendant needed? Did they provide an ASL interpreter? Did the person look completely lost? Did anyone, the judge, the lawyers, the staff, ask that individual what they needed? The key takeaway is this. Language access is not one size fits all. It requires a careful, considered approach to meet the specific needs of the individual. Your job is to document whether that careful, considered approach is actually being taken, or if the court is just checking a box.
May justice always be weighed by the truth and not be distorted by the limitations of language. Your watch begins. This concludes Module 2 of the Court Observer Training Program. Please continue onwards to Module 3. You can apply to volunteer with the Language Access Watch to be a court observer on our website www.aalb.org/LAW. Once you complete your training program and take a screening test, you will be ready to begin your observations. If we are not active in your location, you can always help us expand or observe independently. Please see our website for the most up-to-date information.